Susan. You are?
Here I are. Oh, I woke up about 10 minutes ago.
I see. Well, I'm glad you woke up 10 minutes ago.
Are we it again?
No, I think Andrew's coming, as far as I know. How was your graduation?
We never got there.
Oh, no.
Yeah, it lots of reasons because of family stuff, but they're coming down this weekend, so
Oh, good,
yeah.
good. Oh, I'm sorry you didn't get to go.
Well, anyway,
Part of the reality of life.
yes, it is. What a messy business.
Yeah, well,
How are you?
I'm good.
Good.
I am good. Got another car, so now we have wheels again.
Oh, wow. You're lucky to get a car.
Yes, but we were actually. I don't know if you knew Gene and Bill Latvanovsky.
No.
They were students a long time, so I thought you might. But anyway, they sold us their second car, which they weren't using
Oh,
much, for a very reasonable price.
oh, great.
So that was a it was a real gift.
Oh, good. Good, good, good.
This is not a time to be buying a car.
No.
Prices are off the wall.
Well, Dick's not allowed to drive anymore suddenly, and
Yep.
we got to sell his. But it's a heap, but it's
Oh.
probably going to be good for somebody who can't find a car.
Well, we were in need, and this works very well. So
Oh, good,
we're glad to have it.
good, good.
And oh, Andrew's got 2 minutes yet. So
2 minutes, yeah.
well, he's always running a little close to the wind.
Well, that would be hard. Did you have a brother that used to help you, that used to come to class too? That I would have been in, yeah, okay. Adam, that's who it was.
Yep, and Adam's still a student.
Oh, great.
And they have a third brother, Aaron, all A's.
Yeah.
Who's a doctor.
Uh-huh.
And lives now over in western part of the state.
Okay, so Andrew's been coming for how long now? Long time?
You know, I don't remember exactly.
Oh,
I'm getting a little vague on dates here. I would say at least 8 years.
really? Yeah.
He started out, actually, he got started, of course, because Adam was studying with me for a while, and he got interested, and then he came and he did the beginning class, and then he's a computer person, so he took over as my webmaster.
Oh, okay.
So he's been taking care of the website, which I'm not using very much right now, but he's been doing that all this time. And in between, he's taken a number of things. He took Woo Style staff with me for a while, and then he's been working on this form, the long form, the Young Style long form for a while. And yeah, he's been around. He's a good guy.
Good guy, yeah.
He's I think he and we're actually pretty good friends with he and his wife. You know, you probably don't know Kaya. She does not get along with her parents at all. As a matter of fact, I think they've totally cut off relationship with her parents.
Yeah.
So we've been kind of pseudo grandparents, which has been fun. But of course, now we haven't been able to see them hardly at all. So that's been sort of sad. But they're in sort of trapped in their house with 2 little kids.
Little kids. Oof.
And she is very protective of the kids. And of course, only now are they able to get vaccinated. So that may make things a little better if they do. But we haven't seen much of them in the flesh. In warm weather, 2 or 3 times they've come and played in our backyard so we could have a chat anyway. So.
Yeah.
So let me check with Andrew what he's doing here. Let's see. That wasn't Andrew. Okay. Oh, I don't need to talk. Oh, there he is. All I had to do was try to call him.
A big A.
Yeah.
Oh,
Mr. A is here.
There he is, in a new location.
It's a person
yeah. That's right.
with a fan.
In
Yeah.
his kitchen.
How exciting.
Yeah.
Well, it is. Seeing you is always exciting, Andrew.
Okay. All right, here we go.
Good morning.
Good morning. I am mostly ready.
You haven't been up long, or you've been up a long time?
Somehow both. Both, David.
Okay.
We do paradoxes here, yeah?
Well, yeah, well, that's pretty natural.
Yeah.
There.
Ta-da!
Ta-da.
Everybody breathe.
Oh,
So, questions?
bad
Reports?
week. I have not practiced. It's been a terrible week.
I'm sorry to hear it's been a terrible week. So anything for either of you from last time is when we were working on the hips?
I don't think so.
Yeah. Do you feel like you have some idea of what we were trying to do?
You refresh us in a sentence or so.
Well, we were working on the movement of the hips in several different ways, but of course, always thinking of keeping the hips absolutely parallel to the earth, so not tilting the hips, and also being very aware of not shifting too far so that you cause yourself to lean. Although it's entirely possible that, as a matter of fact, maybe even likely that you are not fully shifting to 100% on each side yet. That would not, it's certainly not a requirement yet. That's what you're working towards. So, and keeping the hips relaxed and using the opening and closing of the quad as you move from side to side. Nothing to it. So I'm feeling I should just go on. And that's fine. So we want to make sure that we don't lean and become the Leaning Tower of Pisa. But the fact of the matter is that there are two other things which can cause this leaning one way or the other to happen, which can actually, which are actually not directly involved with the hips, but do affect the sacrum. So the first one is the back of the knee, which we were talking about recently. If either side of your knee collapses, that will tend to cause you to lean. So if the inside of the knee collapses, it causes you to lean inward. And if the outward side collapses, it causes you to lean outward. So all that's saying is that if you are, when you are shifting from side to side, that you have to be careful that you don't allow the knee, particularly the weighted knee, to collapse. Because if it collapses on the inside, it'll tilt you in, and if it collapses on the outside, it'll tilt you out. At the same time, you don't want to allow the knee of the unweighted leg to collapse, because that closes off the perineum. So maintaining the alignment of your knees as you are shifting and rotating from side to side is fairly important. And you have the same situation with your ankles. Your ankles can collapse. and they can collapse either way. And that can have a tendency to throw your hips out. So you have to realize that besides being terribly helpful when you lift the back of the knee, keeping the knee open, it's even more helpful if they are lifted evenly in the beginning, evenly. In the beginning, no one gets it exactly even. But if you keep your awareness there, you will get a sense that when you open the back of the knee, you actually feel it opening. It's a very tangible sensation. So the question is, do you have a sense of the space, or do you not have a sense of space? And this becomes difficult only because as you are moving more and more, you get involved with your hands or the turning of your body, and not necessarily with that space in the knee. And that's really important. We also, I think we talked at one point about making sure, and we will again, but making sure that you have that bounciness, that sponginess in your movement. So that's what that's pointing to, is that you're not too rigid, you're not too tight, so that the movement becomes, even if it's just shifting the weight from side to side, is very fluid and easy. And if you stop, you're not jammed on one side because something's out of alignment, but rather you have that bounciness that 3-year-old kids have. That's what we want to be. It's just about 3. There are days when I feel I'm just about 3. Again. So as you're shifting, you both have already started doing a little shifting. See if you can feel that sense of both knees lifting and opening. And make sure they don't collapse on either side. And every once in a while, stop and see if you have that nice bounciness.
Are we opening and closing the quad on this, or just shifting?
In order to shift, you have to open and close the quad.
Well, I mean, are we? Oh, okay.
You may add rotation if you like. That's fine. And I think it's actually relatively important that you do practice this, all of these pieces with rotation, since rotation is a part of the next 4 movements we're going to work on. Cloud hands in all 3 of the swings are rotating in one way or another. And one of the things you really want to do is to be clear that you are, as you are going from one side to the other, that you are initiating the rotation and the shifting of the weight simultaneously, and that they complete simultaneously. So there is no point in which you shift and then rotate, or rotate and then shift. It's all happening together.
We're gonna let the water out, it's okay. That's what we do every time.
That's a little better, Susan.
It's not right, though. I can feel it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's just coordinating those two parts. Stay aware of your dantian being the center of the movement. Don't let it rise into your chest. And let yourself shift as far as you can to each side and still remain comfortable. Don't force it to where you're uncomfortable at this point. Yeah. Yeah, that's better. Andrew, I feel like I want to say to you what Yang Ching Fu said to his students: relax, I'm not going to beat you.
I, yeah, it's been one of those like 3 days of like, I'm trying real hard to relax and it's not happening.
Know what you mean?
Not quite able to let go this morning. That's fine. So you simply do the best you can, and that's all we ask.
I can't.
I feel like no matter that I have a rise in the middle, and it's not like it doesn't feel like a lot.
It's just a little, but you want to, you're right, you want to let it go.
Tips on how to do that.
um, so part of that is certainly releasing the qua, because if as you shift the qua gets tense, particularly the one you're moving onto, that'll lift you. That looked a little better.
Yeah, for like one or two of them.
Yeah. So clearly this is something that both of you could do a little practice on. It's you could take a break if you like to. You also want to, at some point, begin to think about keeping the ankles open as you do this too. All of these parts are why when Cloud Hands is first taught, it's much better to do all these pieces that I'm showing you, even if it's only for a few days with each one, so that you get used to feeling these pieces as natural parts of your movement. Now, the nature of Qigong, Neigong, is like an alphabet. When you learn the letter A, you use the letter A. And when you learn B, guess what? You don't forget A. And unlike words, where the letters get jumbled up, all these movement parts are more like German, where they are where they put 5 words together as one word. So it's A, B, C, D, E. You get the next one and it's A, B, C, D, E, F. They all happen at once. It's not separately and sequentially, it's simultaneously. So with the knees, all I can say is it is very important, both for the long-term health of your knees and in terms of longevity. When you cut yourself off from the energy in the lower part of your body, the fact of the matter is that the whole flow gets messed up, and it has a general downgrading effect that happens over time. So if you wish to reverse that effect, you want to make sure the up and down flows in the body are fairly smooth. Now, we've covered about keeping the back of the foot open previously, but let's look at the legs. On the side of your legs, there are yin meridians, and on the outside of your legs, there are yang acupuncture meridians that flow through. This actually becomes rather important in Qigong. What you need to realize is that there must always be a balance in the sense of the pressure that is rising up the inside and what is going down the outside. This is a general tendency that when people, there is a general tendency when people shift their weight over to one side, that they feel the outside of the leg, but the inside goes numb, as if it doesn't exist and it has flown off to Mars. But you need to always have a sense of what's happening on both sides of your leg, both of the surfaces. This is more a part of heaven and earth, but it is actually part of energy gates as well. When you shift your weight over to one side, you want to have a sense of the tissues rising on the inside of the opposite leg, and the outside of that weighted leg, no, the outside of the unweighted leg is really doing nothing. And when you go the other way and your weight gets over to the other side, you want to have a sense of everything moving down to the bottom of your foot on the outside of that leg. And all you want to have on the inside of the leg is for it to be doing nothing, but still alive. Just as when you come up the inside of the leg, that the outside of the leg is not really doing anything, but it still feels alive. Because the qi is always flowing up and down the yin and yang meridians. So actually, let me make myself larger here for a moment. So just to be clear about this. So the yin meridians, where the energy is flowing up, are on the inside of the legs. And the yang meridians, where the energy is flowing down, are on the outside of the legs. And as you shift over to one side, the energy is flowing down this leg, down the yang side of the leg into the earth. And it's coming up the inside of the other leg. So it's coming up here and going down the other outside. And then as you shift the weight, that reverses. So when you have gone from this side to here, the energy goes down the outside, comes up the inside, and as you begin to shift back, it comes up this inside and goes down this outside. So it's constantly moving from one side to the other. And this is the lower part of the macrocosmic orbit that we talked about, I think, somewhat in the past. Anybody have a question there?
I'm trying to figure out where to focus, whether to focus on that movement or, oh, I don't know.
Wait, which of the 14 things should we do now?
Right.
Yeah.
So what I wanted you to do just at this moment is to try to just focus on that flow of the energy.
Up the inside and down the
Right. And then as you reverse, it comes up that inside and down.
and down that one.
Right. Exactly. So you're just looking for any sense of movement along the legs in that way. Is that clear, Andrew?
Yeah. I feel like I ask almost every class. What gives? So I'm gonna modify the question. What gives the outside of the legs the quality of the yang energy? Because I have a very simple model that yang goes up, and I know you told me 100 times it goes in both directions in both spots, but here we are again. So, because that's, you know what I mean. If I was taking a pop quiz, I'd be like, well, the yang energy channel, it goes up that thing, right?
So you're now into application energies and thinking of Peng, which is rising, outwardly moving force, and the most yang energy that we express in Tai Chi. In this case, we're focusing on one of there are several circulations of the energy in the body that are all happening simultaneously. So what happens, what is really, in order to clarify perhaps for what you're asking about, in the legs, the yang energy goes down the leg and the yin energy comes up. But when that rising yin energy comes up to the perineum, it goes through the perineum and continues up the back, which is the yang side of the torso. So on the bottom, the yang is going down the outside of the leg, but it's rising up in the torso, and then comes down the yin side of the torso, goes around the qua and sinks down the yang side of the leg. So the movement in relation to the yin and yang surfaces is opposite in the top and the bottom of the body.
Oh, boy.
Okay, that somehow makes sense.
Well, it does, because often that's the balance that we're looking for in Tai Chi, is how the flow of the energy from the Dantian down is opposite to what it is from the Dantian up. It gets much more complicated than that, but
It already is.
I was going to say, I think it may be complicated enough already.
I think maybe I'm better off not thinking about that and just thinking of the energy coming up and down, and
Well,
let it just do its thing up here.
exactly, and that's why I really wasn't going to go there with that whole thing, but Andrew, with his inquiring mind, it's all right.
I don't know.
That's fine. That's fine, because Susan doesn't have to take all that in. You
Right.
you just stay with what's comfortable for you, and that's fine. So basically what I would like you to do is to try shifting and rotating for a little bit and seeing if you can feel that flow of the energy up and down the legs, or some movement. I might say at this point, you really don't want to do anything with your shoulders and your arms. You just want to let them completely relax. Your focus is on the legs. What, Andrew?
Yeah, is there a difference? Should I try to not have a difference in the quality feeling of opening or shutting the quads past the midpoint? Does that question make any sense to you?
Well, they are doing one action as you approach the midpoint, and they reverse those actions as they go to the other side. Is that what you mean?
Maybe.
Well,
So if I'm here and this is opening, it's still opening.
so yes, this one is going to be opening and this one is closing.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's, I said they reverse. I don't really mean reverse. I mean, they complete that action. So in other
Right.
words, this opening, this is fully closed at this point. Now it's fully open.
Yeah. And what I feel like I'm experiencing though is like a division of this is opening towards whatever, like, you know, middle. And now it's opening, but it's opening differently because it's moving away. Like
You know, there is a difference, and what happens is that in the first half of the movement, the opening is what is causing the movement. In the second half, it's the closing that's causing the movement.
okay. Yes. I think that's what I'm noticing without noticing that, you know, what it was.
Yeah,
It just felt different. Like because I was trying, you know.
it is.
Kind of,
It is, and that's a good, I'm glad you raised the point because, and clarified that, because that is important to understand that. And the thing obviously present here is that the first half of the movement has a sense of being more active, because you have to initiate that from the bottom of your foot. And the second half of the movement is really based in releasing, in letting go.
right.
And causes, and they both cause the movement of the energy, but they are different and they feel different.
Okay, because I always like had like a right around the middle. I'd be like, there's not much else I can do over here. It's kind of like
No.
what it felt like. I just was like, I gotta go focus over here, and
Yep.
I never knew. I was like, well, is that what, should I still be over there? The other, I'm having in the opening. This movement makes sense down the outside of the leg, and like I'm not doing it right now, but like I can get like, okay, that makes sense. As my weight goes from 50% to, you know, 80 or 100, whatever, the sense of anything going down, it's like this part of my leg gets tight, and this is now, it's not going down anymore, and if anything, it wants to like come up.
So the answer is very simple, but it's not going to be easy.
Yeah.
Don't tighten up.
Don't tighten up. Got it. Perfect. All right.
So
Hold on.
if let me just I love this. I love Zoom.
Didn't actually switch. If
I know, it just changed.
Okay,
I'm going to the other one.
there we go.
So part of it is really getting that difference, that here there is that, you've got to have that sense that you are causing that movement to occur. And at this point here, as you continue the movement, it really is let go. Because once you start that movement, if you just let go and let the qua not collapse, but close, so there's a difference there, you will turn in that direction, because that's what this closing action causes. I mean, it can cause a lot of things. I think
Yeah.
we've talked about this before, but I mean, that closing can simply cause the shifting of the weight. It can cause the shifting and the rotation. It can also cause the sinking. So it has a number of things depending on your intention. What are you intending the qua to do at that point? So if your intention is, I'm going to just rotate from side to side equally here, then what happens is it relaxes, it relaxes, it relaxes.
Yeah, it's like, I think I'm doing it, and I'm I'm definitely not. I'm like, well, it's like, oh, it's getting, like, I'm not like relaxed. I'm shutting it.
Yeah,
Because
you're controlling it.
because yeah, like there's no, I mean, it's not perfect, but it's there's not a giant muscle that's like, oh, I'm shutting your legs.
Well, and and that's part of that alignment of the torso, the hip, the knee, and the ankle and the foot, so that you are in a position to support that movement. I mean, that's why we've been going through all of these pieces, is you've got to eventually put them all together, because it's that arrival at that structure that drops the energy. And once you arrive at that point, that energy going down and rooting into the earth is part of what stops you at that point. Now, eventually we're going to have another way of turning back, but at the moment we're just using that sense that as you go to one side, you wound up the rubber band, and then it unwinds and you come back, and it winds up again and you come back. Just a very, ideally, as fluid a movement as you can allow it to be. And this isn't easy. And because it really involves letting go, not staying in control. And yet, at the same time, your intention is, in a sense, the control, because it's intending that you will have all the alignments that you need to arrive at the structure which will openly support the movement and allow the energy to flow.
Yeah. Yeah, that one, we can talk about that for a long time.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking about the energy and letting my body go.
Uh-huh, good.
So all I'm thinking about is up and down, up and down.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
So don't try to let the movement still have a flow,
Yeah. Not
don't-
sure.
not jerky, but yes, exactly. Yes. That's what basically coming back to where we started here, this whole discussion, that's what we're trying to begin to feel is the movement up the inside of one leg and down the outside of the other. So do you feel like you have a sense of at least what you want to work on?
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay,
Sorta.
well, go ahead.
Yeah, kinda. I now, I don't know. I don't know. I feel like I have a question, but I don't even know what it is. So,
Well, when when it comes to you, write me
sure.
or call me or
Yeah, sure.
text me or something.
Yeah, I'll reach out.
You know, really, I offer that to you, and I'm serious because very often you'll have a question when you're practicing, and if you don't write it down or call me or do something to maintain it, it's going to disappear.
Yeah.
And it may or may not come back.
Yeah.
So, so with the many actions that people do normally in life, it is not a problem having the yang be more active than the yin. When it's a problem is if you let one side go dead, because then actually it requires the body to fire up a lot just to get the system back to working again. And after the millionth time you've done this, you start getting problems. And it's that simple. It's cumulative problems, not sudden. So the question becomes, when you shift to the side, how far can you go to the side before the outside of the, or the inside of your foot begins to lift? Now, when that happens, everything starts flying up in the air. Remember the first year, you rule, you always want the foot to stay flat. So this is just another piece in this whole puzzle here as we rotate and shift from side to side, is you want to feel the feet staying flat on the floor all the time. All the time. If you go so far to the side that the inside of your foot starts to rise up, several things have happened. The first one is that you have broken the line of qi in your body. And the second one is that you have, in effect, just put a joint lock on your knee. In the beginning, it takes a person a while before they can get their weight 100% onto one leg. And I'll tell you why. Because usually in the beginning, you can only get to about 90% and have your foot stay flat on the floor. And that's just a sure thing about how do you go to 100%, but not to 105 or get stuck back at 10 or 20. So this is a sticky balance point. There is no exact way of saying how you get there, except if you go a little bit slowly, your body develops a sensitivity and it becomes eventually easy to do. Now we have a person's ankle. Ankles get compressed. And when they get compressed, as you start shifting your weight, it has the effect of putting a joint lock on your ankle. So one of the things that has to be done is that you want to get the inside of your, is to get room inside your ankle. Now we have two separate issues. The first one is, do it too much and the ankle freezes up. And if you do it too little, there is no springiness. So now we have and are back to Goldilocks and the Three Bears. So not only do you want to get a line of energy down to your foot, you also want to get it to bounce in your ankle. And the ankle is supposed to bounce. When you walk on your, your ankles are supposed to bounce. And what if they don't? It hurts, but besides the fact that it hurts, it jams all your chi at the ankle and most of it never gets to your foot. And most of it never goes from your foot back up to your body. And as we've said before, this isn't good. There needs to be a certain springiness, bounciness, like a rubber ball. In other words, the joint has to be open and doing what the joint is supposed to do, which is bounce. So we look at the issue of not going too far again. If you go too far, your foot starts rising up, and I guarantee you that you will have no bounce. So do both the knee and the ankle have to have bounce? Yep, they do. 2 for the price of 1. And eventually, it's just going to be the ankle. It's also going, eventually, it's not just going to be the ankle, it's going to also be the bones of the foot. They have to have a lot of bounce too, because if the foot can't move at all, the foot cannot bounce, it means the metatarsals are locked and compressed. And this is not a big deal. It's something you can correct and you can do it. You were born that way. Play with a baby's foot sometime. Andrew knows. They're like rubber bands. The springiness is the natural way. So just by walking and putting pressure on your feet, you activate a natural mechanism in the body, which flushes the chi to the toes and flushes it back up into the body again. Or in other words, make sure that it goes all the way down and all the way up. And this is just built into the original design of a human being. But many of us do things that reduce it. So this is a way of just tuning it like a car. So instead of sounding awful, it purrs. And that's what you're doing, simply bringing the body up to maximum functioning. So What I want you to do is to go back again to rotating and shifting. And I'm gonna just have you focus on one thing at a time. And so first, just begin to rotate and shift. And be very aware of not shifting too far, but as far as you can, going as close to 100% as you're able at the moment. Make sure your hips are staying level, not bouncing up in the middle. And that you're not moving the hip too far to the side, so that you're causing yourself to lean or be unbalanced. Remember to focus on your dantian as the center of your movement. Have us now focus on your knees and be very aware of keeping the back of your knee open and having a sense of bounciness or springiness in the knee. Sense of openness. And then feel your ankles lifting and staying bouncy. Not getting stiff. And feel the bones of the feet open and moving. And then as you shift back and forth, begin to feel the energy moving up the inside of one leg and down the outside of the opposite, and then reversing as you go back to the other side.
Should the, now I'm thinking about energy coming up and down, but does it come all the way up to the dantian
Yes.
before it goes down? Okay.
Remember to keep shifting your weight. So you can take a break. So obviously we're working towards doing all of these at once, but you want to practice them for a while, one at a time. If you want to talk about aging, most of the diseases of aging, most of the problems of aging are actually loss of function. So if we start looking at the difference between a 20-year-old and a 90-year-old, in a 20-year-old, everything is bouncing like nobody's business. And in a 90-year-old, it is slowly shrinking. And if you think that lack of bounciness, which is circulating chi throughout your body, is not affecting all your internal organs, your brain, you're wrong, because they are. They're all one piece. The chi is circulating, and it's causing, to whatever degree, the different organs and glands and brain and bones to work the way they're supposed to work. Or it's diminishing, and then their functions are diminishing. So in terms of longevity, this is kind of a big deal. And actually, it's not that hard a thing to do. But because everybody sort of ignores it, everyone suffers for it. So because I want you to kind of know where we're going, I wanted to demonstrate. Actually, I thought just for a moment, I'm going to do very short demonstration of cloud hands and the 3 swings, just so you kind of see where we're going with this. And there is, maybe you can see why it's important that you kind of get comfortable with all these other parts before we begin to go into the whole movement, because believe me, some parts of this are somewhat difficult. Oh, great. Last minute thoughts or questions? Have a great practice.
Thank you.
Try to work a bit on these things and put them together, hopefully.
Okay.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Take
Thanks.
care. Hope things smooth out.
Yeah.
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 Okay. Bye.
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 Howdy.
I gather things have not been too smooth there.
Hmm.
That's okay.
I certainly. Yeah. I mean, you know, no, no, but you know, it's always like your own fault, right?
Yeah.
You don't, you don't have to ride all the waves, but when you're in a wave pool, it is easy to
Get swept away.
go with, yeah, right. So
Well, how are the kids?
they're good. Well, just randomly the last night, and I think maybe like 2 nights ago, he just has like trouble getting, going to sleep, or like he'll fall asleep and wake up and yell, and you gotta, get on the. So overall, pretty good, right? Lyra's excited for her birthday coming up, and
Yeah. And you had a birthday.
nope,
No?
no, Aaron had a birthday.
Aaron had a birthday.
Aaron had a birthday. That was the 15th, Wednesday.
Ah. Why did it, he came up as you on Facebook.
I don't think I had a birthday.
Okay.
April 2nd.
All right.
Yeah,
I
no.
thought yours had been.
Yeah. That's funny.
Oh, well.
Yeah. But yeah, no, they're good. Lyra's excited. She got a bike with pedals.
Oh, good.
Yeah. So I think she was trying that this morning. I think it's harder than she thought it would be.
Yes, it is. Yes.
Yeah. She kind of like had her feet on it. You're like, okay, you gotta like push, and she'd like kind of like push a little bit, and you're like, okay, but you gotta like push a lot. And she kind of just like did it a bit and was like, no, I don't want to. Like, okay. I think it's rough because we don't have, it's all grass, right? So I think up on a road with like a little bit, a little incline.
Yeah.
Would be a good spot to learn, but yeah, so everyone's good.
You have to take her to a parking lot or something.
Yeah, we go up through the woods to the road up above, because usually it's pretty quiet,
Uh-huh.
like that just goes to like essentially a dead end. So
Yeah.
so
Cool.
yeah. Excuse me.
How's your yard work going?
It is progressing. I have done. It's just a lot, right? So we've got all the beds near the walkway filled up finally.
Oh, good.
And then the front, Kaya's flower garden is mostly set up. I think he's got all the stuff planted, so that's the important part, right?
Yeah.
So that's good. And then, what else is there? Oh, the stones. So I started putting stones down for, kind of like under that funny little bridge that goes to the doors.
Uh-huh.
So turns out stones are heavy.
Yes, they are.
Yeah, like little ones, right? But yeah, so good. Overall, pretty good.
Oh, good. Good. And how's Kaya?
She's good. I would say good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are your kids going to be able to get vaccinated soon?
I don't know. I don't think so.
Oh, you're not going to do it? It's,
They don't have a thing.
oh yeah, it's supposed to be this week, supposed to be available for children under 6 or under 5.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, I don't keep up with it, right? Vaccine under 5. What do we got here? Authorizes the COVID vaccines for youngest kids. Oh, 18 hours ago is when the news came out. Okay, that explains why I haven't heard about it.
Oh,
Or at least all these articles about it. Maybe there's other ones. Oh, 5 days ago. Okay, all right. Yeah. Well, right. Yeah. We would do that as soon as it's available. I guess I'll have to call the doctor for children, pediatrician.
yeah. I like that. Doctor for children.
Doctor for children. Yeah. Yeah. No. That was what you know the big thing was, right? Wait for
Yeah.
either they're going to turn 5 or they'll get a vaccine out. So, yeah. I don't know if we'll be first in line, but
Yeah.
but yeah, for sure we'll get them vaccinated.
Good.
Do you know? Just because you seem to, are they also going to do a booster for them or no?
I don't know.
Yeah. Okay. Do you know all the? Do you know all the medical details, David?
I don't know all of this. No. I try not to look at the news in the morning
Yeah. Yeah.
since it affects the whole day.
Right.
But somewhere along in the afternoon or evening, I do try to catch up so I'm not out of touch.
Well, yeah, and then you end up like me, right? There's a vaccine. What?
But yeah.
Cool.
So good. So how's your young style?
It's definitely there.
Oh, good.
Yeah. I probably as it was, you know. I think I
Okay.
practiced like once or twice. Twice. So
Well, in your schedule, that's probably good.
yeah. Not as good as I would like. That's okay. That's all right though.
It
I like.
can only be what it's able to be.
Yeah. I dig it. Am I there? Let's see if I could go up a little bit.
Good.
Would you like to just come along with me? Guide my way a little bit here.
I would, and I think we should progress
Sure.
a little.
Yeah, that sounds good to me too.
Well, we don't have to do a lot, but
Oh, yeah.
so but where did we do separate leg and kick? Did we get that far?
If you're talking about like the sweeping kicks that there
Yeah.
are. Yeah, yep. Both of them.
So one of the things I was going to say is it can be a sweeping kick, but one of its favorite application is a hook, actually
Okay.
sweeping somebody's feet out from under them.
Okay.
So it doesn't have to be big, I guess.
Oh, right, because they'll be like right here.
So it can just be it's a little boom.
Okay.
And in the tricky part of that is that it really goes kick, strike, 1, 2. It's not both absolutely together.
Mm-hmm. Well, that makes sense, right? Because like you would like try to like get him off balance and like hit him in the
Yeah,
face. I imagine
yeah,
probably something more lethal. It seems to be always be very lethal.
yeah.
It's never like playing around. It's just like yeah, then you kill him. I'm like, all right, fight over. Cool.
Master Yanglu Chan would not be happy with that approach.
Oh, no. Okay. Well, that's good because it always seemed a little, I was always just like, wow. Like, whoa. Like, why not just, give him a bad day, make him think twice.
Right. Well, absolutely. Okay. Let's see. Where am I? Oh, there I am. Okay. So begin Taiji addressing the earth. So shifting into the left and spiraling down. Step out empty with the right heel. Rotate rising into Pung. Slowly sink. You on. Shifting left, separate and release. Turn. Shift fully into the right. Step empty, shift forward, and ward off left. Sit into the left and reset the right. Sink into it and rotate rising to ward off right. Rotate out, in, sink, turn, sinking back and in. Forward and up, down and back, forward and up, pushing downwards, and sit back and turn the right leg in. Rotate onto it, step with the left, shift, extending out, bending in, single whip. Rotate on the left heel, right toe, drop the heel, lift hand, rotate, shift into the right, rising and crane, release back, draw in, step and shift forward, brush knee, shift forward and reset, sit back into it, open to play peacock, draw in, step and brush knee, back and turn, brush knee, right, and continuing brush knee, left. And another play peacock. And sitting back, turn, sit into the left and up, kick, elbow strike, rotate the back fist, pull down, step through and shift and punch, withdraw and push. Sitting back, turn the left foot on the heel, rotate rising into cross hands, release, rotate and pull down, turn, sit back and step to the rear corner. Shift, then back and down, ward off right, roll back, sink, and press forward, and push downward. And sit back and turn, step and single whip to the front corner. Sit back, left rising, rotate the leg, shift onto it and step, rotate, head strike, shift to the right, rotate and touch, and open to punch. Then draw in and repulse monkey. Draw in and step back to drive the monkey away. Step back straight. Draw in and step forward. Diagonal flying. Then shift forward. Reset the right. Sit back into it and up into lift hand. Turn. High. Rotate. Step. Shift and ward off left. Shift forward. And I did that wrong, didn't I?
I think so.
That's interesting. Yeah, so I pat back into brush knee. Sorry about that. Shift forward, reset. Come back and down, connect. Needle at C bottom. Rise, step, shift, bend through the back. Turn. Step and chop with fist. Rotate, pull down. Draw in and kick. Elbow strike, back fist, pull down. Step, shift forward and punch. Back and ward off right. Roll back. Press forward. Push downward. Push downward. And shift back and turn. Another single whip. Wave hands like clouds. And stepping forward, and then into single whip again. Then into high pass. And back, step with the left and shift, ward off left, shift forward and kick, strike, step with the right, shift and ward off right, shift into the right and kick, hit, back, turn a little bit to the right, and spin left. On the right heel.
That's the one I picked, so that's good.
So, questions up to there?
I do not remember there being a ward off right between the two kicks.
There is.
Okay.
The first one is ward off left and kick. Second one is ward off right and kick.
Yeah, it kind of makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay. I know we went over it last time too. going into Cloud Hands,
Yeah,
turn on the left heel, turn on the right toe.
nope, right heel.
Okay. Left heel, right.
Wait a minute, wait a minute. I have to think about this here. I have to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's heel, heel.
Heel, heel. And then do you step forward to get the feet to be?
Yes, you continue
Together?
the rotation to bring your feet parallel,
That's okay.
and then you turn left.
Okay. That makes sense.
Yep.
Okay. It's a heel, not a toe. And okay. I can go from there.
Actually, would
Yeah.
you do that again?
Sure. Oh, whoops. Coming out of it too, to be honest with
Okay.
all right.
So, two things I was gonna say. Oops, no, that's not what I wanted. Get out of it. Get out of here.
I feel like I want to, I don't know, go that way.
No. I'm good at getting rid of myself. So I'm gonna turn and face you for a moment.
Yeah, sure.
So when you're coming out of this, when you're going into this, you want to slowly shift the weight from left to right. So it's turn, 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 and that completes it. You follow me?
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
No back and forth there.
Okay.
Try to even out that weight shift. And just because we usually don't rotate on a weighted leg doesn't mean that that's not something that can happen. So there is some sense of rotating a weighted leg there. And then here in the rest of this movement, all in one level, just like rotating and shifting from side to side. And B, don't go up and down.
Okay.
And C, keep the rotation going all the way through the step.
Okay.
So there's no point at which the rotation is not happening in one direction or the other.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, so you're rotating step, rotating step.
Okay. So there really isn't a moment when it's not
Rotating.
right.
Then when you're going out of this, you're rotating, and until you get ready to do the step, it's just the same.
Okay.
So you're 100% on the left foot. So as you would normally step in this case, you draw the foot in and then step forward. And what happens there is, as you step forward, that turn back to the right to place the right foot forward brings the arms in to embrace the moon.
Okay.
And then you hold embrace the moon, it's actually bending in a bit as you come. Oh no, it's going out as you step forward, and then you rotate and step back and go into single whip. It's just a little.
A little, yeah, I like to.
It's not a huge thing.
And then this is just like a reset. It's not like a.
Well, it comes forward and then goes back.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
So it's still to protect the groin movement, and then.
Right.
Yep. Good.
Okay.
Nothing to it.
Simple, easy. Simple.
So,
easy.
I'm not really doing the spins so much anymore.
That's fine.
I will be honest with you. So after you do ward off right, shift in, kick, strike, and you step back with the left, you're actually going to shift back and let yourself sink into the right heel, but turning right a little, because you're going to turn to the left on the right heel until that foot is facing the rear corner.
Okay.
And then you're doing kick with heel, which that hasn't shown up before. So that's in that you've come back to embrace the moon. And let me just show you the arm movement first here. The arms are going to twist in, bringing the fingertips up, and then they rotate as they push out to the sides.
Okay.
So you're in embrace the moon. They come in, you drop the elbow, bring the fingertips, come up, push out. So obviously this is spreading somebody's arms out of the way.
Yeah.
And as you do that, you're bringing the left knee up, and you're going to kick forward with the left heel as you push the arms out.
Okay. That makes sense.
So your balance may be better than mine today, I don't know. But so you come in to embrace the moon, you come up and kick, and you come back to embrace the moon, facing to the corner, and then step, and you go into a brush knee. Brush knee left.
Wiggle your right arm. Okay. I didn't know if it was like mirrored or reversed or something.
Well, I was doing it facing you. I'll turn and,
Oh, but that's fine. I don't mind that. It's always like, but then is Zoom reversing your video for me? So it's like, I don't know.
I know.
So, that's fine. Now what about? So
Was that a question?
Yeah, I think so. A couple of them. I guess if I'm in Embrace the Moon, I'm coming in. Kind of just, I don't know the timing of it, but it's
Okay.
okay.
It's straight, the kick is straight to the side,
Not this way.
not the corner.
Am I facing that way though?
Yes,
Okay, so when I spin, I should go to the corner.
the foot goes to the corner, so you have that, you have the breadth of the foot or some width of the foot to support that kick.
Oh, okay. I get it. Yeah, right.
The right foot goes to the corner.
Yeah. I just thought the whole thing was that way. But
Well,
that makes
that's where you're facing.
okay. Yeah. So the kick is, so I'm facing this way. The kick's that way.
Well, you turn that way.
There's a turn. I did not get that. Let's go over that again.
Okay. That seems like an excellent idea.
Yeah, let's try that.
So when we've done our stuff in this direction and
Yeah.
we turn on the right heel and we bring that right foot into position that you would go to if you were going to go to a left bow stance to this side.
Okay, that makes sense. I get that now.
Okay?
Yeah.
But you're facing the angle of your right foot
Okay.
because this movement is a rotational one, means the body has to be turning while you're doing that
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Yeah, right, because like all this is happening.
for a whole body movement.
Right.
So one of the things that points out is that this arm movement is quick.
Right.
It isn't, it's got to get up there and ready to go out.
Yeah.
So when you're here, this goes kick and you're back.
Okay.
And then you step for a bow stance and go into a brush knee.
Okay. I think that makes more sense. More or less.
Let's do it again. So,
Okay.
so we're back to ward off right
Yep.
and shift forward, hook, strike, back in, shift back and turn a little to the right, and then spin left on that right heel. And you're in Embrace the Moon. Kick with the left heel, step, and brush knee left. Which you already know.
Usually, depending on the day. Yeah. I mean that generally makes sense.
Any question?
I don't know.
Try it.
Those are gonna go together for a while.
Well, also though, but the leg movement has to be that circular kick. Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
It can be small, but it needs to be there. Good.
Yeah, I have to step, so I can go. What that after the kick, Embrace the Moon. it's just a small. I do step with the left.
Well, you draw it back in. It doesn't have
Okay.
to- yeah. There you go. Good.
And yeah, then we do a thing here. And then we kick again.
Yeah. Kick with heel. Good. Brush knee.
Yeah, and then
Left hand goes down. Yeah.
yeah. So after that kick, I'm here. I've rotated. I go kick. How do I like make this not a corner?
You round it.
That's when you right. Because I'll kick, come in. It really should be here.
And turn and step.
Okay, I can like see how it could be a corner.
Yeah.
Talking about that bounce, needing the bounce and the openness.
Yes. Oh, son of a gun.
I think I found a spot where it's very important.
I think so. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that looked like you were getting the idea.
How is for these sweeping ones?
Mm-hmm.
You know, you kind of come, kick, sweep, strike, in. How is that different than this spreading one? Like are the arms doing the same? Because these I kind of just go
No.
like
Doing
straight out.
totally different.
Right, like these are just like whack, and this one's more of like a spreading. If I give you names of all the energies, I could probably use some of those there.
Probably. So if I were to turn it towards you,
Yeah, sure, that's fine.
You have ward off right in and let me back up here so you can see my feet.
Yeah, that's fine.
At this point, the leg is going to go out and in, and at the same time, the arms are starting to spread, but after the hook kick, it's followed by the strike with the forward arm, and it's a blade hand. So you get to here, and it's hook, strike, draw back in, and spin.
Yeah.
The other one, you're actually in effect on the right foot here, but now this is going to be up and kick straight ahead instead of hook and
Right.
strike. And the arms are going out here instead of here.
Okay. Yeah.
Different angle.
Right. Okay.
So that should give you enough to work on.
I think so.
I don't want you to get bored, Andrew.
Oh yes, we would. That would be the worst.
As if that were possible in your life
Yeah.
at the moment.
Unfortunately, I think I am bored more often than not.
Oh, well.
And again, that's my own fault, right?
Well, it may be your work.
That doesn't help. Yeah, that does not help. I don't know. You know, like, oh, do the dishes. I'm like, oh, how
Yeah.
could you do this torturous activity to me?
Well,
Maybe it doesn't need to be the worst thing ever.
no, it's not. You know, I do dishes a lot.
Yeah, so does everyone. Here I
It's
go, talking about it in
part
my
of
head.
part of life.
Yeah, yeah.
I, yeah, it's yeah, there it is.
There, yeah, not much. I know, I know.
You can't really get away from it.
Yeah.
Well, gosh, we'd love to see you someday.
I know, I know. You and us and um, the other 400 people
Yeah.
in our life. Yeah, yeah. It's well, the vaccine's good news. I'll put it that way, right?
Yeah,
I'm so
that might ease things a little.
yeah, yeah. Yes, I'll just put it that way. Right. If they were vaccinated, we wouldn't have to think twice about like, hey, let's visit outside and whatever, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Otherwise, it's is it worth it? And like, what if something happens? And blah, like, etc. Um, there's like a lot of mental churning,
yeah.
as I would
Well,
I would put on that,
yeah.
right?
You protect yourself as much as you can, and then
Right.
then you can't do anything beyond that. So
Yeah, right. That's the trick of it, right? Because like we don't. It always boils back to the question of if something happened to them,
yeah,
can we justify like doing what the thing we want to go do is, like go visit outside or go see people or whatever, right?
yeah,
Um, espe- es- Especially if they then have like the long term effects of COVID.
yeah,
To then later need to explain to them like the reason you have these things is because we really wanted to go sit outside and drink water and talk to people. And it's when it gets to that turn, like how could you say that to someone, right? Like, all right, so like the reason you can't participate in sport activities because your lungs don't have as much capacity is because we really wanted to like talk to people instead of, you know. So that's where we always end up, and it's like, well, nope, that wouldn't be worth it, right? Like that wouldn't
yeah,
be worth it.
yeah.
But do know that we also miss you as well, and we talk about it like every weekend. Like maybe like wouldn't that be nice? And so yeah, I'm excited about that vaccine. That's
Yeah.
good news. That's
Well,
unexpected good news.
I hope that works out.
Yeah, yeah, um, yeah. I'll have to keep up on it, and I'll let Kaya know, and she'll go do 100 pages of research. She should have been like a research scientist or something, like, or I guess she's still good, right? Um, she'll come back with 30 page of documentation of like, all right, like, looks like it's good. Don't hand it to me, and then I'll get carried away and start doing like, pretend like I know statistics and
Oh, good.
it's fun.
What have you guys started thinking about her going to school?
No, not right now. I mean, like she has maybe about 400 things that she would like to do, right? And it's a matter of moving through some other stuff first before um, those can be like pursued in earnest, right? So,
Mhm.
um, but I mean, if she wanted to, yeah, that'd be fine. I think before that, there's all sorts of ideas about like opening shops and farm stands and selling stuff and making things like more of an artistic career path, right? Um, Versus like a school one.
Yeah.
But so yeah, she's she has more projects than I think started than I think I've ever had in my life. Like just so I think that's more of her arc.
Uh-huh.
So
Well, we'll see where she goes.
yeah, yeah.
Well, good. I hope you guys are great, and please um, give our best to everybody.
Yeah, yeah, and as soon as we'll go look in that vaccine, right? Look into that vaccine,
Yeah.
and yeah, you guys will be one of the first at the top of the list of people we go visit.
Oh, good. We look we look forward to it.
Yeah, so do we. We do too.
I know you do. I know that. We understand.
Yeah,
We just miss you.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, we miss you guys too.
We feel like we have, as everybody does, we've lost, part of that time with Lyra and Rowan.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know what to do about that.
Oh, what?
Yeah.
There's nothing you can do about it. That's
Right. Right.
But I also think it's important for Rowan, particularly, to be able to have some interaction with other children and people.
Do you mean Rowan or Lyra?
Well, both.
Both. Yeah, of course, right. Both. Yeah, yeah. I was more because Rowan has Lyra, so he, so like for
That's
him,
interesting. Yeah.
he's like I don't think he's missing anything. Lyra didn't have. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I think yeah. Lyra, right? That was something I thought about a lot. And she seems to do fine. So
Yeah.
she was always shy, and I don't know if that's part of whatever, but I think she's not really shy either. It's like it just takes her kind of. She just likes to kind of observe the situation and be like, okay, like, who are these people? Like, what happens here?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, what do we do? They
Yeah.
talk, okay, and then like 30 minutes later, she'll be like, okay, like, that's like now I'm talking now.
Yeah.
Stop. Whatever you're talking about is boring.
Yeah.
Because I found flowers. You're like, Lyra, yeah, you're absolutely right. That is
Yeah.
more.
Oh, yeah.
So,
Love it.
yeah, but yeah, yeah, no, that was a thing, right? Like,
Yeah.
they're not babies anymore. They're not
No.
whatever. I don't know.
Well,
Yeah, it was a shitty decision to have to make, but
it's a new world. We just got to work through it.
yeah,
I
right,
don't envy you guys.
yeah, yeah. I wouldn't either, right? I don't either.
I mean, it's wonderful having children, but at this time,
Yeah, yeah.
tough.
Yeah, I try not to look at that too hard.
Yeah, no, absolutely. You can't. I mean, you do what you can do, and then you got to try to let go,
Right. Yeah.
because otherwise you drive yourself crazy.
Right. Right. How many mental loops can I jump through?
Yeah,
Um,
only so many.
only so many. Thankfully I have a natural tendency towards like typically on on average there I'm just like, yeah, I'm all done thinking about that now. So it's easy for me.
But this is something you really can't do that safely.
Well, I could do that.
Oh, okay.
That's what I'll say about that.
Okay.
But yeah, yeah, yeah. So,
Well, have a good couple of weeks.
yeah, you as well. I will. I did have a question. I
Yeah.
remembered it. I remembered it.
What?
When, um, when you're spiraling, when you're trying to focus on that, right? And so it was easy enough to kind of think of like, this is a leg, that stuff's moving up, this one's stuff's moving down. I can think about that rotation. And then when you put in the pieces of, well, it's moving down the outside, coming up the inside, are there two spirals happening for each leg? Are there now, and I'm sure the answer is there's like 100, but like primarily, should I just think about the the leg that is getting weighted as that's moving, oh no, down,
Yep.
or would it not be, is it appropriate essentially to try to also think about the two pathways as having their own spiraling occurrence happening?
Um, yes.
But
So, at the moment, you're not really thinking about spiraling energy.
mhm,
We're thinking more about the energy closer to the surface of the body. So in the Wei Qi and the acupuncture meridians, it's flowing, it's spiraling in channels, in little tiny channels.
mhm,
There is also the large spirals in the fascia, but that's not where we're going at the moment.
okay,
So we're thinking about those acupuncture channels that are flowing pretty much in the Wei Qi of the body,
okay,
close to the surface. So what we were saying here is that you're focusing on the one up and the one down. The other two, because there are obviously four, if we think about all of them, are also moving. They're also present. They just are not, they're just not the intended focus at the moment.
right, okay, yeah. I mean that's fine.
It's the problem is this is the energy flows in the body are so complex that if you can't think about all of them at once.
Mhm.
You really have to decide which one you happen to be focusing on at the moment, and just accepting that the others are also happening,
Yeah,
and not worrying about trying to be focused awareness on them at the moment.
right. I guess right. Because to me it seems like, well, it should probably all be happening all the time
They are.
across all the stuff ever, right? So I was like, well, like if I wanted to like have spiraling during this like 4-channel up down movement, what would that look like? Would it look like this one leg is doing this down? Well, if I'm working on the channels, then each channel would also have its own spiral like within the channel, right?
Yes.
And then that's a lot of stuff to think about all at once.
Yeah.
So I thought I would ask, and I should probably just focus on feeling it go up and down. That might be a good start.
Well, then, yes, that will be a good start. But it's perfectly fine to have the awareness somewhere in the back of your mind that all of that is also happening at the same time.
Okay. Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with that. I'm not saying that, but you can't focus on all of them at once.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I never. I guess I always like to make sure that it's not like some weird, like, oh, well, in these energy channels, like it doesn't spiral because of some complicated reason. Like,
No, everything spirals.
okay.
Everything spirals. No, I mean, that's how things grow in the body. That's how they move in the body. It's all,
Yeah.
it's all spiraling.
All spirals all the time. Got it.
Yeah.
Cool.
I mean, Bruce is always saying, you know, if you really got into it and could be aware of it, there's somewhere between 4,000 and 5,000 channels in the body.
That's a lot, dude. That's a...
And you just have to let go of those.
yeah. Yeah. Okay.
You know, you can't be aware of all of that at once.
Yeah. I guess I'm just. Does he give the sense that he is though, when he's doing what, you know, living? You know, someone of that caliber, right? Like
He's certainly far more aware than I am. I don't know.
yeah,
I don't know that he's never indicated that he's aware of 4,000 channels at once, but
okay, yeah, that's like you know, I think we talked about that, right? Like you kind of just integrate it. Okay. Yeah.
yeah, eventually you are. That's the intention of doing this separate and then combine process.
Right.
You're learning little bits and pieces and then putting each of those together, and eventually you're doing far more complex things at this simultaneously than you could possibly do if you were to start out trying to do it.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know why I have in my head that like, oh, but like if you're like, you know, if you're fully doing it, you would also know about all the little stuff. And
You might be aware of it, but you're not
yeah,
necessarily focusing on it.
right, like which like and then when I think about any other thing, I'm like, that's not how that works at all. So I don't know why I have that.
Well, and the other the other piece of this is that when you get to Bruce's level, actually truly a master's level, then you're not functioning on exactly a conscious level. Functioning, and it's not. It would actually, in Western terms, it's not an unconscious level either. But you're functioning from the sheen, the heart mind, where what you're doing is not controlled by the action of the conscious mind. It's controlled by abilities functioning at a much faster rate that is more internal than the conscious mind. If you call it the unconscious mind.
Yeah, yeah. No, that's an interesting point, right? Like you, yeah, right, because you would just kind of integrate all of that away.
Yeah.
To the point of like you're not actually just like you're aware. It's not that you're not aware, right? Yeah, it's just integrated away, and then now you don't need to think about it because
right.
You're doing not thinking.
You know, it's you know, just a real contemporary example of that is John Painter, who's the Bagua specialist. I don't know if you're familiar with John or not.
No.
He teaches special forces and police to function like that.
Probably.
And he, one day back at the Tai Chi farm, there's nobody else around. There was he and about, I don't know, 7 or 8 of us. And he was trying to explain, about how one person was able to deal with that number of people, and that it can't be from the conscious mind because you couldn't possibly do it.
Yeah.
So he said, well, here, let me show you. So he's had all of us attack him simultaneously in any way we wanted to. And we all ended up on the ground, and he was 20 feet away laughing.
What? Wow.
And none of us could tell you exactly what happened. So, I mean, all the stories of, the really great martial artists dealing with numerous opponents, and being successful. I mean, they had to function at that level. They can't do it. You can only really fight with 1 or 2 people at a time on a conscious level.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, there's a large delay between a sense and a conscious.
Yeah, a conscious response. Yeah.
And then it's got to go all the way back too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it has to come from a place where the response is so instinctual and so ingrained that you do it faster than you can think it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that, I've seen Bruce do stuff, it's just, and, it exists, I mean, I've seen it demonstrated.
Yeah.
So I know it exists, but it's, I can't say that, I mean, I feel like I'm not functioning on that level, but I feel like I'm perhaps in meditation beginning to get in touch with that.
Yeah. That's, I don't know. Yeah. It seems like a weird thing of like, if it's so much better, why is it so difficult?
Well, I think you could apply that thought to a lot of things.
Yeah. I guess I'll try not to walk there too far.
Andrew, I gotta run.
That's fine. Me too.
I'm glad to talk to you, though. I very much enjoy talking to you.
Yeah, same here. Have a nice week or two.
I will.
And
And
if it comes up, I'll let you know.
if more questions come up, let me know. And I hope the kids could get boosted soon.
Yeah. Well, first vaccine. Yeah, right. But yeah, no, thank you for letting me know. I think I don't know how long I would have gone without knowing that.
Well, that's why we get together.
Yeah. Thank you. All right.
Take care, buddy.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.